Hi again, friends. This is Dan for Prayer Warriors. Today, I'd like to talk to you about Elisha and Naaman the Syrian. Um, this is in the Old Testament, of course, and this was a little known Gentile, Naaman, who was healed in the Old Testament or Tanakh. Now, in Luke 4:27, Jesus mentions this healing of Naaman the Syrian. Now, what can we learn from this? Uh, this healing by God through Elisha the prophet? Wow, you ask great questions. Elisha was Elijah's understudy and began his ministry as a prophet after Elijah was taken up to heaven. Future lessons will talk about Elisha's exploits as well as some of Elijah's, and some are humorous. But for today, let's keep the focus on Naaman's healing. Naaman was a commander and a great soldier for the king of Syria during the time of Elisha. Now, Elisha lived roughly 865 to 795 BC. Naaman had pretty much everything going for him, except minor thing, he was a leper, which in those days was incurable, and except for a very rare divine healing by God. Today, leprosy is called Hansen's disease. Now, Naaman had an Israelite servant girl who suggested that he travel down to Israel and see the prophet Elisha. Naaman had his boss, the king of Syria, send a letter along with him to the king of Israel. Now, when the king of Israel saw this and heard about the letter, he thought it was a pretext for war, and he tore his clothes. He was distraught. But Elisha, upon hearing of the letter, calmed the king and told him, hey, go ahead and send Naaman to him. When Naaman arrived, Elisha sent a messenger to him, telling him to dip 7 times in the Jordan River and that as a result he'd be healed. Naaman was mad and indignant that, hey, there were cleaner rivers in Syria. Why do you have to dip in this muddy water? He didn't want to be degraded by this weird request. But fortunately, Naaman had some wise people with him who counseled him that, hey, if there was some great feat of strength he had to do or, some bold move he had to make, he would do it to be healed. I mean, this is a simple request. Why not try it? Try it, you'll like it. So Naaman listened and dipped 7 times in the Jordan and was healed. His stubborn heart was changed as well, as he said, now I know there is no God in all the world except in Israel. He offered gifts to Elisha, but Elisha refused them. However, in another video, we'll look at Elisha's servant, who later did accept them. Now, what can we learn from this? Well, we can learn that God loves the Gentiles and shows that love even in the Old Testament. The order is to the Jew first, but also to the Greek, which is a reference to Gentiles. Also, no one can say, well, they can say it, but if they say it, they're wrong, that God can't be put in a box. You can't say this is the magic formula for healing, and if you just do it this way, you will be guaranteed a healing. God is just as powerful and willing to heal now as he was at any time in the past. But it's always according to his will and timing and method. One time, he might heal by speaking the word. Another time, it may be speaking the word at a distance. Another, of course, Naaman dipping in the Jordan. There was another occasion where Jesus spit in the dirt and rubbed it in someone's eye, which is in John chapter 9, verse 6. Sometimes it happened instantly, sometimes gradually. God says he uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. So why did Naaman have to dip 7 times? I mean, you'd think maybe 1 time. Well, 7 is a number consistently used in the Bible to show completeness. And there's 7 days in a week, 7 notes in a diatonic scale, and so on. So links are below, and may God richly bless you.